Hello and good evening, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth, all things holiday.
Yeah.
Merry holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy
Yay!
Hanukkah,
Yeah.
happy. All right. Good to see. Darnell, wait a minute. I know you got the memo. Where your damn ass?
Listen, the thing
Oh,
about it is this. So that's why earlier today I was running and I was running behind
oh
because
my
I was
God.
trying to get out to the store. Because
Uh-huh.
the craziest part about it is, so I get up a little while ago saying, "Hey, let me gather something together." So we're gonna blame this one on Jonathan because he got walked right out the door and took my hat
Oh my
with
God.
him out the door, and then gonna say, "Oh, I forgot that you needed it tonight."
Oh
Oh
I
my
said,
wow.
God.
yes, I
I
needed it tonight.
can't. I
So he
can't.
has my hat on.
Okay. You know what? I'll deal with him when I see him at
Here,
Christmas.
take mine.
Wow. Well, all right. All right. So you're here in the realm of the spirit. Great. Glad to see that. Glad to see everybody. Hope everybody's had a tremendous day, leading up to this wonderful weekend. As I always get, which we'll talk about a little bit that tonight. And spread some good cheer. And hopefully encourage people to, not to get into the wrong meanings of this season, I think we do this every year. We've been doing it every year, right, Parnell, to kind of encourage everybody to look past, whatever they've been going throughout the year. You can't blame it on the holiday. Things happen. Things happen in 23, and some things are going to happen in 24. But hopefully, there'll be a lot more in 24 of greater things for you. So it's how you put it out there and go ahead and get started with your life. So take it, mold it, make it work for you, and hopefully, will be your encouragement, like to continue the rest of this throughout this weekend and next one, rolling into 24. All right, let's go. Let's do our reminders, everybody. Got your cup, got your mug, Uh-oh. Got your mug. All right. So I want to remind you guys, definitely to support us, okay, with your Truth Behind the Truth mug. You can order it for $15.99 at our email at the TTBT show at email, or you can participate in the contest, okay? You can participate in the contest by simply sending 10 likes and shares to that same email address. And then once we verify those, we will send you out a mug. How about that? All right. Good way to start your 24 off with a mug from Truth Behind the Truth. All right.
Absolutely.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right. Gentlemen, how are you? Good?
Me, I'm
Okay.
great.
All right. Well, let's start with Sandy. You're down at the bottom today. So, hey, how are you, brother?
I'm good. My mug is in the dishwasher. I've been using it so much.
There you-
I found not only can you put drinks in it, I make oatmeal in it, put
Okay.
hot and other thing. I put hot apple cider, then I put eggnog, then I forgot where I put the cup. Then the dog said I want eggnog. Then the dog and I dressed up as Santa and reindeer and went out and delivered presents to squirrels. It's been a very lovely day.
That sounds like fun. Chasing the squirrels are like, what the hell is going on with y'all? I know that's the truth, but that's good. I know during our meeting, your puppy, you have a lab, right? Or was it a golden or lab?
I have a golden retriever.
Golden retriever, yeah. Those are one of my favorite dogs. Okay, I would never have one in an apartment, and I have to have a mansion just like you do to have one. But one of these days, I'll have
mansion.
Huh?
I don't have a mansion.
Okay, the little cottage on the hill. All right.
I don't have a little cottage in the hill.
That's good.
That's a virtual background behind me.
Oh, no, I don't know about that mansion.
Yeah,
that's the mansion. Okay.
You think I want to put up the hovel I live in?
No. Oh my God, I can't. Oh, that's cool. Parnell, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I was coming from rehearsal for a caroling gig that I have tomorrow. So it's like, hurry up and get home, grab my Santa hat on and jump on.
Okay. and it's going real well with the white beard.
Yeah, exactly. Santa Claus is a black man.
I like to hear.
I know that's right. That's good. So where's your caroling gig tomorrow?
Somewhere in LA.
Okay.
It's a private party thing, so I'm looking forward to it. It's like, yay!
That's good. That's good. That is. That's something I've always wanted. I only did Carolyn like out on the street one time in life.
Oh wow.
That was Long Beach. I think even before I moved to Atlanta, I did it back in Michigan years ago, and it was cold as hell. But it was still fun, you know. I like that. Those I'm very traditional when it comes down to the Christmas and thing like. So I'm the Norman Rockwell type of Christmas gathering. I just like that, you know. It's what I grew up with, and that's what I enjoy, you know, a whole lot. That's why one of the reasons why I like the holidays so much. But Darnell, how you doing, bro? Outside of not having your hat,
I'm wonderful. I am. Listen, I am wonderful. It's crazy how you go. I was going around to stores and listen, no one has nothing in their stores.
That's not surprising.
When I tell you nothing, they had nothing. So I was just like, okay. And I called Johnson. I said, how the hell did you take my damn hat this morning? Wow. Oh, I thought that you didn't need it. I said, well, listen, you thought wrong.
Wow.
Let's thank God that you don't get paid for thinking.
Really? I know that's right. You didn't try CVS. I don't think CVS has a whole bunch of them still. You know, they the ones that kind of carry the last bit of the flow of hats and stuff. I know I found one a couple times over there in that, but that's okay. It's all good. We're here to have some good times, good fun, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and dig in real brief on a quick of some news buzz. You know, that kind of has been circling around real fast, and then we will continue to move our plight a little higher. So the one thing about the Trump category, of course, the special counsel wasn't able to get that part moved from the Senate situation to get the case moved up, or keep it on point, unfortunately. But when he presented it to the Supreme Court, I was like, I doubt it's gonna happen, because that whole Supreme Court is made up of Trump followers, you know. So I really didn't expect a whole lot coming from that. It probably would have been just shy of a miracle, maybe even a Christmas miracle, to whatever to happen. But as you know, we've talked about on the show, we can elaborate on this. They're going to do everything possible in his arena to get this man convicted of these crimes. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they're going to find every avenue that they can. And fortunately, he has these people in place. You know, that are going to vote on his behalf, especially these high level people, you know, and what have you. But anyway, anybody got a point about that one?
It might not be a Christmas miracle, but it could be a New Year's miracle.
Okay. Yes, the possibilities are there. I mean, it's not getting him on, but at the end of the day, maybe somebody will wake the heck up, and I won't use that word right now today. Wake the heck up and do what's right by this country, you know. But
I got to tell you this, because I at first I kind of thought like you did, but then I started listening to a lot of the pundits and stuff and what they're talking about here, because Jack Smith tried to get the Supreme Court to take it immediately and bypass the appeals court. But the appeals court now has said we're going to rule on this quickly.
Okay.
So, and the DC Court of Appeals is liberal. So there's a good chance they rule against Trump.
Okay.
So then there's a process of, and I forget the Satori or something like that, where they say now and Bank, where now it's 3 judges. Now they want all of them, and they say the process of going from 3 to all is not usually successful unless there's some overwhelming new evidence or something like that. But what the important thing that happens here is if it goes to the appeals court and they make a decision, they can stop the stay, meaning the trial can go forward. And then Trump would have to apply to the Supreme Court to get a stay. So it moves the process along much quicker than we think. It looks like doom and gloom, but it may not be. I don't know that it isn't for sure, but it may not be. There's so many different permutations that can happen that we just have to kind of wait and see how this system plays out. And don't forget, it's all based on the case that Chutkan denied this motion. So there's been a decision. So now it's an appeal of her decision.
Right.
So the Supreme Court would love to see, I believe the Supreme Court would love to see the Court of Appeals make a decision and then just leave it there and say, we're not taking the case, so they don't have to make a decision.
Right.
Well, I mean, they won't take the case because one of their wives was part of the situation with January 6th when we know who wife that was,
right,
and
right,
then
right,
the other two, they were voted in by Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like at the end of the day, that Supreme Court ain't really doing the work, or going to do the work of the American people. There's just that it's all one sided. The only person we have is Ketanji,
Right.
that seems to be level headed. But I just don't know of anybody else. What's her name? Samara Mayor, I think that's her name. But it's just to be honest with you, this Supreme Court, it ain't for the people. It's for the right wing. And to be honest with you, they are a waste of time and energy. They are a waste of time. And not only them, but the Electoral College. We need to find a way to get rid of them, though. But that's another story.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you here and tell you that as much as it's a 6-3 court that's Republican, it's been about Republican issues. But when you get to this, now you're going up against the Constitution and an interpretation of the Constitution. And if they undo that, and then they got the other case from Denver saying, does the 14th Amendment apply? So these decisions, they're going to have to sit and weigh heavy. And we forget that they actually decided against Trump, this 6-3 court, on a few occasions with the election and the turning over and stuff like that. And some of them are getting a little bit more to center, going, okay, we're talking about the law here. And as much as, abortion is a right, but it was not built into the Constitution. And we're certainly all against their decision with that. But as you get into these other things where now you're talking about reinterpreting the Constitution, they're highly suspect. And then, of course, Clarence Thomas, whose wife was part of January 6th, got to be, he should, what do you call it? Step down or, wait, Darnell, you got a hat.
Yes.
It's the other part of the Christmas miracle.
But he should step down. He should have stepped down a long time ago.
Yeah, he's got to recuse himself. They want Thomas to recuse himself. And we don't know if he will, but he did recuse himself recently on something. And if we get him to recuse himself, now you're down to a 5-3 instead of 6-3. And if one person ties, it changes their vote. And, Kavanaugh and even Coney Barrett have indicated to uphold the Constitution. I don't know that they will, but I think that the Supreme Court wants no part of this decision of having to make it. So let it go back to the appellate court, let them make it, and then just say, we're not taking the case.
I wholeheartedly agree. I definitely do.
Right. That's actually a good point. So as you said, I think it's a good way to be able to see it play out, and hopefully that it will be on the right side of the law, at the end of the day, because this, and the way this idiot is, I mean, it's just the fact that in these followers, to allow this man to even stand before them and say that he's going to destroy the Constitution, he's going to rip it up, he's going to do all this other type of thing, and just stand there and accept that. To me, that's just crazy. At the end of the day, to allow that to be a part of their psyche, as one would say. I know you had a point. Go ahead and we can move on.
Well, I mean, there's no point to be made, but I don't think it's crazy for him to say what he wants to say in front of his people. I mean, it's something. There's a rhetoric that he know that the Republicans and the MAGA people they love that red meat. That he's going to throw it to them because that's what gets them riled up to vote. And to be honest with you, I've been thinking about this. I honestly believe in this country, and y'all could probably fight me on this. But you know what? The way the American people think right now, I think to be honest with you, I think they need I think honestly, those people, not me, those people need a dictator because they want somebody to point fingers at. They want somebody to tell them when to get up, when to eat, what to wear, what their problems are, what they think that, it's just the fact that they don't, this new generation of Americans don't want the responsibility that we, the people, have within our hands to make our lives better. I mean, it's just obvious that a lot of them, and I ain't trying to put me in the equation because I know my rights. But my thing is, I'm so tired of hearing people saying, you know what, if my city don't turn out the way I want it, I'm going to go red,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to go blue. I want to go green. What is that going to do to help the situation? You going Republican or Democrat? It's up to you as the individual to make that change for yourself, not a party and not a president.
Right.
It takes you, the individual, you to organize.
Right.
My thing is, I just think we are just gotten lazy. And I think that we deserve a dictator if that's the case. That's just me.
Well,
That's
good
just
point.
me.
I can't argue with that. You know, and we could dissect that a little bit more. We're gonna move on because we said we're gonna stay on.
Yeah, we're gonna stay on good terms.
All right. So moving on before we go to break, just want to kind of touch around this real quick. I'm sure most of you guys have followed social media. Again, with the Christian Keys situation, because it has been dominating so much of social media, and then the allegeds that are coming out from the Puffy side and stuff with Bishop T.D. Jakes. You know, well. I thought Darnell was covering his mouth. I was like, you know, my thing on it, we can again collectively, you know, share our brief opinions on. I know we'll kind of combine these both together if we can, because they kind of center around the same thing, you know, at the end of the day. As far as the Bishop Jakes situation is going on, you know, I've been thinking about this since it came out, and one of the people I listen to every now and then is Larry Reed on the Larry Reed side. We listened to him the other day, and you know, the one thing I like to say about all of that, you know, when it comes to a ministerial spot, high profile person, whatever the case may be, let me say this to the high profile people. Okay, real quick. If you do happen to come across Truth, God, and Truth, the main thing that you guys need to start doing, whether this situation with Bishop Jakes is true, alleged, whatever the case may be, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. What really matters is what you as an individual are presenting to the people. Okay, so if you are consistently putting this I'm unstained position from your pulpits, from your places of whatever, and then you are being stained somewhere out the course of your life, it's funny that sexual allegations are the things that always come to the forefront the fastest. And it seems like those things that people really believe, because 9 times out of 10, most people that have, you know, that fall in that category are guilty of those things. You know, so that's why those one of the things, like you throw it to the wall and it sticks. But my encouragement to you guys is that if that's the position you find yourself in, number one, ministers, be honest with people. Okay, we're in a day and time you need to be honest from the moment you put your feet on the floor to lay your head at night. All right, because people are watching you. Number one, your congregants are watching you. All right, and you are in a position to be watched because you have been elevated, or you've elevated yourself to that level. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind. And then number one, as you go into 24, be truthful and honest with these people. If you're a minister, pastor, Jewish leader, whatever the case may be, tell the people the truth. Let them know you are working out your salvation as you're expecting them to do. Okay, don't get out of this thing of you being perfect. Okay, because ain't nobody on this planet perfect at all. All right, that's my part. Pete, go ahead.
Oh, we got to go on our break.
Oh, we do? Oh, shit. We'll pick it up when we come back. I'm sorry, I missed the break part. All right. Guys, we'll be right back. So I'm running over, but we'll be right back. All right, and we are back, guys. Thanks again. So, Darnell, I left off. Go ahead. Let you make your point.
Oh, did we lose? Oh, we lost Darnell.
Okay.
Was he back?
Well, yeah, no, we'll get him back. Go ahead and make your point.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about T.D. Jakes and Christian Keys, pretty much. So kind of running it together.
Oh, that was well. I think everybody is getting tired of folks getting away with the bullshit.
Right.
You know, everybody's really like, okay, enough. This has been going on long enough. People have held their tongues because they didn't want to bring down powerful people, whatever. But as more and more people get harmed, then it's like this stuff is going on. And before, you know, people always like, oh, Holly weird, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no,
No.
Again, Hollywood is just a microcosm of the greater society.
Right.
This stuff is going on in just regular little people's neighborhoods, but those folks aren't famous. They aren't well-known names. They aren't multimillionaires.
Right.
But the wildness and that happens in life, it happens. There are still more people who are trying to live their best life sincerely without any dark secrets going on. But there's always an underbelly, you could say, in any part of society, that exists out there. And it just gets to a point where folks just like, it's more harmful for me to hold this secret and this information to protect a predator's reputation, than it is for me to come out and say this person is a predator.
Right.
That may hurt that person, but other people will be safe.
Right. Right.
Going to the story at hand, we're talking about a situation that's now allegedly evidence to the feds. Now, we're talking about a situation about Cassie, who has now sued or sued and gotten her money, her settlement from Puff Daddy or P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, for the situation of harassment, abuse, and all that had happened while they were together. What she did, and this is just hearsay, she turned over a burner phone that was owned by Puffy's deceased ex, Kim. What's her name? It was Kim Porter. Who, she has passed. Right. But it was a burner phone that had a lot of evidence of what was going on and recordings of sex parties that were hosted by Puff Daddy that so happened to have TD Jakes there.
Right.
And now, because of this information, it spread it all over Black Twitter sphere. My thing is with this whole entire situation is we know that celebrity with celebrity status, you get a lot of access to whatever you want in this world. We know that. There's nothing new underneath the sun. We see it, but we have never, we don't know what they do behind closed doors, but we have heard stories. My gripe with this whole entire information that is so irresponsible right now, because we don't know if it's really there as rare as evidence. Now, there has been stories, there has been talk about TD Jakes and Tyler Perry and everybody's sexuality. Everybody wants somebody to be gay, and you know what? To each his own. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. It's none of my business. I don't even know what you got going on and what you are doing. But if you get exposed, that's of your own doing. But the facts are the facts. We don't know if this is true. But I can say this: if it is true, and TD and Jakes and all of these people who've been touting biblical scripture and telling people what is sin and what is not, you know what? Your payday is due. I mean, you can, and like you say, it goes for people who likes to get up behind pulpits or people who preach or do whatever they do. You need to come clean about your humanity. I just wish people what the truth behind the truth is. We're all human in this human experience. We have all tried out all things sexually, whatever that is that we do. We have tried it. I don't know about any one of y'all, but I have, within my 35 years of living, I have lived in some form of fashion. I ain't gonna. I'm
gonna sip my tea and remain quiet.
But it's none of your business. Truth behind the truth. But it's just the fact that I just wish more people would just open their hearts and to the situation at hand. And I have nothing to say against the fact that if he is what he is, a power bottom, allegedly.
Stop.
I'm just being funny. Okay, I'm being funny. Y'all, I'm sorry. But it is what it is. It's all over the internet. So I don't know why this is the truth behind the truth, right? It's all over the internet. My thing is, if this is who he is, he needs to come clean. But if this is not who he is, I wish we would stop putting people's stuff out irresponsible. I'm just saying.
Sandy?
I am so in touch with this story, and I don't want to offer an opinion being an uneducated about this subject matter. So I will bow out. And even though I looked at some of it, I don't know what the truth is. There's just a lot of stuff out there. So look, if you did something wrong, then you did something wrong. If you didn't do something wrong, then you have to defend yourself. But
right
there you go.
right absolutely.
That's
Darnell.
Well, in this case, he ain't denying or have not came forth denying any aspect of it as he normally would. He normally would make a statement. He normally would have something to say. He normally would have his PR people and all these people to do cleanup. He has not done that at all.
Now we talking about TD.
Now, who are you talking about now?
Yes, we're talking about TD.
Okay.
So
well, he did not to interrupt you. He did release this lengthy documentary that came from his people touching this on, and Larry Reed talked about it yesterday, and it did sound as if it was more presented as a safety net. Okay, there was the all of the alleges that fall around that particular safety nets, and they, as Larry Reed said or quoted, that it was too much explanation on a situation that he just should have just left it alone or kept quiet.
But go ahead, Darnell. But anyway, go ahead.
So, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. So it's like when you came to the forefront, it was kind of like you were trying to plead a case to try to tell people what you was not and what was not and this, that, and the other. And you basically made yourself kind of look like, what these people are saying and what is being put out there is true. It was a statement that was released, and when it came down to it, with the factor of all those evidence, there was evidence to show that, therefore, he had his hand in several dealings of things, not only sexual acts or whatever the case may be. When it come down to it, so it's not more so the sexual aspect of things. They're talking about a lot of the criminal behavior that he's dealt in. So that's the thing. And yes, the feds do have information. They do have everything, and it is going to be, when the first of the year, it will be processed.
Right. Right. All right.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, what can you say? I mean, the truth behind the truth in that, So again, the purpose, and we're gonna move on. Again, is to say, like as I said, start out my comment. All right, people in power, people in place, ministers, church leaders, congressmen, and the list of these positions that go on. Okay. Guys, just be honest with yourself at the bottom line here, okay? Be truth behind the truth in your mirror. Look up every day and say, hey, look, I am guilty of something, all right? And admit to that, okay? And to be transparent with people. I know it's hard, but at the end of the day, would you rather the truth coming from you or the truth coming from someone else laid out in a different manner? You look like the guilty party at that particular point in time. Cut it off before it gets a chance to get out there when you know that you've done something. Bottom line, it don't matter if you're a minister. And ministers, stop this perfect crap. You are not perfect. And stop telling people you are. Stop. Okay.
Well, why do you think, JB, that he turned around and you have to think about this? And it was a statement that was made that was so true, because they all knew that this was going to hit the fan. They all knew they was going to get ready to hit the fan. This is exposure season.
Right.
So right when the year was coming to this point, he turned around and he relinquished the factor of his title and his position over to his daughter. He had clean hands outside of the factor of, I've had a baby when I was young.
Right.
I can keep the image up, because at the end of every day, he was a puppet to someone else anyway.
Right.
They just made sure he looked good.
Right.
See, this is a case about the importance of NDAs and no cameras at the freak party.
I can't. On that note, but you know what? And let me put a little spin on this. Okay. This ain't the only sex party we always. You're talking about Hugh Hefner too. Right. How many people went to those parties? What? And now we know that it was more than just Cosby going to those parties. I mean, it's just like I say, it's not only Hollywood, but it's just the fact that when you're rich and you have some form of celebrity status, there is access to everything.
But there were no cameras.
Hey. It was what was it? Playboy at what was that show back in the day? Playboy at Night?
Playboy After Dark or something.
Playboy After Dark. They were doing something when them cameras went off.
But that's something everybody's in on. And it's like, you can be on your best behavior when you know the cameras are there and it's going for public consumption,
right?
As opposed to we're doing this behind closed doors and nobody's supposed to know except for those people who are there,
right?
And then somebody brings in the camera like, no cameras, turn it off, take that phone, erase everything. Let's see what you got. Nope,
right.
Nobody gets to know what happened here unless they were here.
True.
And again, if grown folks going to be grown folks, make sure that everybody knows what's up.
Right.
When they're there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody can say, "Oh, I didn't know." It's like, listen, if you go to a party and there are 100 people there, and then the party whittles down and it's the last 10 or 15, there's an after party that you might want to get your ass home for.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay. You know, and people have been warning folks like, don't go to them after parties. Don't go to them parties.
Right.
They know what goes down.
Right.
And if somebody warns you, don't go to their party, and
Right.
you go to that party, you're curious to find out what's going on. You want to be in on it.
True.
Whether it's like, I'm trying to get close to so-and-so so that I can get it, like, or I just want to be nosy and find out. Okay. But when you find out, you might have bitten off more than you can chew.
This is true.
Now that's one thing. Now these abusive situations, that's a completely other thing.
Completely different
Where
situation.
people are being taken advantage of because of these powerful people.
They said the last alleged party that was really that TD had no business being at was Michael Rubin's party.
Lord.
His birthday party.
Wow.
You were there at this party, and they said that therefore it was people who came and say that he was indulging in the after party.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
Well,
And they were wondering, why are you there why were you there at this person party anyway? They're not even in the realm in which that you even deal in.
Well, you know, once you, I'm not to cut you off now, we got to go on, but once you get exposed to certain situations, sometimes that invitation just keeps prevalently coming your way for whatever reason, you know. And last time I got 15 seconds before the break. This type of behavior, guys, I'm going to say this real quick. Y'all can deposit it and talk to us on another show about it. But in the arena of this quote unquote gospel arena, this type of behavior has been going on for a long time. Okay. I mean, they go back for these gospel workshops and all of these other type of things have gone on in a lot of these particular places. And these celebrity gospel people have covered it up. Husbands, wives, and all those type of things. So nobody is immune from what has happened. It's just the available information is now at your hand. So you make the decision how you govern your life moving forward. Okay. Anyway, we're going to quick break. We'll see you right back.
Telling the truth out there.
Yeah, the truth behind the truth. All right, we'll keep that. Maybe we got a little situation going on with break, but that's okay. So, but as I was saying, you know, it really these things. I mean, if we had time, I could tell you about not a lot of allegedly, a lot of truthful situations that have gone on.
Yeah.
But my whole thing, I was thinking about this today. We're talking about this prior to the show, is that we as the spiritual group, in which we all are, okay, at the end of the day, I know there's people out there that believe otherwise, and you have at it if you want to believe it that way. That's cool. I believe that everybody's put on this planet, and we all come from God, okay, at the end of the day. Now, how you perceive that is another story, all right, but we're not getting into that. However, the thing is that we've got to really understand that we are spiritual beings. We are having a walk through a human body, a human experience. And if we don't allow our human side to match up with our spiritual side, you'll find out, and you can't be truthful about it, you'll find up in any kind of situation because it's proven the fact to you that you're not perfect. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, nobody's perfect here. Let's stop trying to put this on people. Let's stop trying to say people are filled with demons because they have given over to something else that you don't understand. You know what? This is why people have so many mental issues typically coming from the church setting, because the church folk want to put people in the demonistic category. You can't live your life out. You can't have an experience. You can't do it because you're demon possessed. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Okay, please.
Well, you know, that's taken off the church. You know, they got the Jeff
Epstein.
Well, let's twist the story. You know, they got the list coming out in January. You know, they're going to put out the list of Jeff Epstein's.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing, baby. That's why a lot of these people tucking their tails and running.
Yeah, it's coming out. The truth behind the truth is coming out.
Yes, it is.
And I hate to say it, you know, you hiding behind closed doors, and you know it's gonna be rough on these people who have been doing dirt for many years. So you know, payday is coming.
It is supposed. All right, let's move on. I guess we have a little technical problem about our break, but that's okay. So we're going to move on and move into the next phase. What we're really here about tonight, not to get into all this. We'll say that to the first of the year.
All right.
You know, because it'll be facing us a little bit more. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about our cherished moments and what this seasons have meant to us, be it challenging or non-challenging. But we want to focus in and encourage you guys to definitely look for the excitement. You know, I will submit to you for the next few moments that we're talking about, go back to your inner child. You know, go back to the point when you look forward to going to sleep at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, whatever time it is in time zone, and waiting for Santa to show up. Okay, you know, the joy that you felt in that, you know, and go from there and look at maybe the list that you put out and the gifts that you got, or the ones you didn't get, or the ones you hoped you would get, you know, in the process. So let's kind of take a little step back to our inner child for the moment, embrace that, and then talk about our greater parts of this time of year. You know, Darnell, you want to go?
Well, for me, you know, I enjoy just the fellowship, the time of being the putting up the Christmas tree, the lights. I think that I remember from being a little kid, it's like right after Thanksgiving, everyone going to this whole stage of they go from that grumpy person to kind of like somewhat a little bit nicer, and then the closer to Christmas, they get a little bit more jollier.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest things that I kind of like about the holiday. I don't care nothing about all the gifts and all of that. I just like to see the happiness of people, because there's a lot of craziness going on in the world. And I think this is about the only time of year that people are actually in a better mood, you know. So for me, I enjoy this time of year because I like to be able to be around people who I don't get to see all year. Spend time, laugh, cocktail if you're cocktailing, you know, just all of that. Yeah, they bring the better out of people.
I know that's the truth.
That's truly great. I mean, I really appreciate that. I mean, is there anything else about your childhood that you'd like to share?
Me?
Oh God.
No. I was saying
me, and it's funny because when I was little, I was fascinated with trains. I've always been fascinated with trains. And every year, I mean, all the way up until I was I think I was like 13, 14 years old. I got a brand new train set every year. Every year I got a brand new train set. So this last year, when I went home or whatever, my grandmother, she turned around and she said, "I need you to come and see me." And I said, "What is that?" She said, "Make sure before Christmas, I want you to come and see me." And I don't know what day you went to. And she said, "I want to take you back somewhere." And I said, what are you trying to take me back? And she took me back to this I wanted this antique train set. And she ended up getting this old antique train set, and she got it for me last year.
Okay.
That was just like a wow moment for me. It took me back.
Wow.
It took me all the way back. Because every year I would ask for the same thing, and it was always a train set. I don't know what, it was just crazy. I was just fascinated with the sound of trains when they come through.
Wow. Parnell, I have a similar story, but I'm with you. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of a nice childhood memory other than my computer's about to die here. I got to plug it in. Hold on.
Okay.
Other than the time where I swore that we saw Santa Claus.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I remember like years later, like, "Mom, you remember when we saw Santa Claus?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Remember when we were little?" And when the street that we grew up in, and I said, "We saw Santa Claus, and he looked just like the cartoon." And she was like, "Baby, that never happened." But for many years, until like I was about a teenager, I could have sworn that we saw Santa Claus and the sled and everything from a bedroom window. And I was like, "Mom, look." And my mom was holding my sister. My dad was there. We were all watching Santa and his that is like, even though it wasn't real, it was a favorite childhood memory.
Right.
That I can appreciate. I mean, y'all get me excited about the train and Santa, but I'm a whole lot more. Sandy, go ahead. You right quick. I know you're on the Jewish side, but I'm sure you had some great opportunities there at this time.
No, not at all. We sold a lot of presents to you people. That's how we made a living. That's how you call it Christmas, we call it retail season. Until Amazon and all these things came along, and then you could just shop online. But I think for me, they say the 3 stages of a man's life is, when you're a kid, you believe in Santa Claus. Then you become an adult and you don't believe in Santa Claus. Then you become a father and you are Santa Claus.
Right. Okay.
So you're the one that has to, oh, look at that. It's a rain dog. Your sound is off, Parnell. I think when you're a kid and you're in school and you're preparing the little plays that your parents are going to come see and you sing the songs and stuff like that, it really gives you that holiday feeling. Now my kids are grown and so you went from where you're the kid doing that stuff and the parents are going to come see you to one day you have kids and you're going to go see them, and now they're grown, and at the moment there are no grandkids, so you're left in a situation where that element of, oh, here come the holidays, I'm going to go see my son or my daughter in their Christmas play, and they're singing their songs, and when they're little and they're missing teeth, and they go, "We with you a Merry Christmas." That stuff is just too cute, and you sit there and everybody's got their camera up and you remember it, and the thing comes. So now my wife makes Christmas at the home and invites all the family over. And we've done it here for a long time. So that's the new tradition. But I miss some of the other things of when I was young.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Oh, do you want me to talk about the?
No, your Christmas and your points about it. Yeah, they're like everybody else.
To be honest with you, growing up, Christmas, to be honest with you, like everybody, like y'all been saying, it just, I love the holidays. To be honest with you, I think my whole entire situation changed after college a little bit. Okay. But it's just the fact that, as a child, we got the feel of the Christmas holidays around, like Darnell said, after Thanksgiving. You see the claymation specials, the Charlie Brown. Yes. You got your White Christmas old films. Everything. I don't know. The 90s was just different for me. I think this was missing these days on television. I think the public has lost all fascination with the mystery and the imagination and the wonder of Christmas. Yes. Because during the 90s, you had these specials, and they just kept coming with stuff. And as a child, you just got into it. And and we getting the live Christmas tree and you putting the lights up on the house. That was just a big thing for us as kids, and we enjoyed ourselves. I think the best Christmas, I think the presents that I got one year, which was really just, I thought was the end of all ends. My mom got me a big old book of the Titanic. It was a gigantic book.
Keep that. Can we go to a break real quick?
Yeah, let's go to break.
And then we'll be right back to finish up with your story. Okay? We'll be right back, guys.
Or not.
I don't know. Are we not?
Touch the ground, yeah.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. All things holiday, all things Christmas. Go ahead and finish your point.
But I'm just going to end it with this. I just, what I was just saying, I think the 1 year, and like I said, my mom bought me this big old book of the Titanic.
Okay.
And then, she bought me some CDs. At that time period, we were buying CDs. And I got my first Neo Soul CD, which was the Jill Scott's first CD. And those were moments I cherished. And I tell people all the time, you have to still hold on to those memories to keep that Christmas feeling going,
Oh yeah. I think, thank you guys. I really appreciate all you guys. And for me, I think every one of you touched on the stories that I have had the joy and the experience of having, as that inner child and as it going forward and what have you. I remember we were talking about this the other day, that one Christmas that I had, which reflects Darnell, which was the train set. Oh my God, I had always wanted a train set. I mean, I love trains growing up. And that particular year, I think I was probably like 8 or 9, or maybe 7 or 8 actually at that point when I got it. And long and short, so this big train set, it took over like 2 banquet tables. It was huge, okay? So me and my niece, they were visiting at that particular point in time. We were playing with it. So I had went upstairs for something, and we met around the Christmas tree. She left my transformer on the train, and it burned the whole circuit that day. Oh my God. It burned, and it never worked again after that one day. That was just like, that was just like one of those moments. Something, and she's like, "What did you do?" I said, "What you did? You left the transformer. Back then, you had the transformer. You had to, plug the wires to it, and all that, and all that would go." And she left the transformer on, burned the whole thing up, and never was able to get that train to work again. Out of all of that, I was so hurt. But anyway, so
listen, I got
that was my train
of them in the attic, JB, that I can bring you one.
Okay. Well, as I get my house, that's one thing that's gonna be around the house. Some point, it's gonna be a train somewhere in there, but I did love it. The other point for me, I think, was I think the first year I really realized that there was no Santa Claus. Like when I was 18. I was kidding. No, but I remember the year that I forgot what I got that year, but I was sleep. I was going to sleep, and I guess that twilight hour. Then I heard all of this shuffling around, and of course, Mom had closed the door or whatever, wouldn't see what was going on. So I got up, stuck out of bed, and kind of peeked down the hallway. And I saw Mom pushing all these boxes down, down the hallway. And I'm wondering while this is running, I'm like, wow, gosh, she must be helping Santa Claus. He must have came to the front door. Yeah, he must have came to the front door because we didn't have a chimney, so he had to go to the front door.
He make his own chimney.
Exactly. So, but I had watched, and then I got this really enduring moment, for myself, and I was like, oh wow! So Mom actually does help Santa Claus every year, So I didn't lose the thought of Santa. It's just like I saw the enhancement, I figured somebody had to get up and open the door,
Yeah.
So she was bringing them in. So that was probably the year I kind of started putting things together, from that point. And you mentioned about the claymation and all the Christmas, movies and shows and things like that. Growing up with the claymations, we still watch the claymations, guys. Okay, when Santa come on, we are right there. Rudolph come on, we're right there. Frosty come on, we're right there. Because I don't ever want to lose that inner child. I don't ever lose that moment of that inner child, because it just does something good for you. It brings about a good spirit, and you just feel good about things. I wish that sometimes life was a little bit more simpler. Like that in its inception, But now we've gotten so complicated. Children's lives are complicated really they don't honestly know what to believe, because the parents don't know what to believe anymore. I started to try to create this tradition with my grandkids, and then laid it out there, brought the information. My only didn't follow suit. I mean, I don't have time. They don't need to do this, and I'm like, okay, you know what?
Rotten parents.
That's
rotten parents.
And taking this such great mission, yes, there's this great mystery and the fun out of this particular season. You know, parents, if you're listening to this and you got grandparents, whatever, try to put this stuff back in. These things keep cycling every year. You got the Claymations, you got Charlie Brown, you got It's a Wonderful Life, you got Miracle on 34th Street, you got all of these things to, you know, to bring joy in your home. You know, let's stop trying to be what that nasty whoever and pound towning and, you know, and all of the ski weeing and all of this stuff that has no substance to bringing hope in life to people's life at the end of the day. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
Right.
JB, I just want to say this is all Donald Trump's fault because I used to believe in Santa Claus until Trump came along and said that Santa Claus was fake news.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once he destroyed the image, so this is all Trump's fault.
Yeah, I'm all for that. You know, something all for that. You know, at the end of the day. But you know, it is, and I think, and guys, I appreciate you so much being able to share your inner parts about how what this season meant to you. We hope tonight, guys, that this is something that you guys can take with you. You know, and search. But main thing, search for the joy that brings about. I know that some of us have lost loved ones this year, and somebody just lost a loved one today, and it is a trying time. You know, our former co-host Harold. His mother transitioned on Christmas Day. You know, wasn't a very enjoyable time at that moment, but you have to work your way through these things, you know, and you have to really bring yourself back into a place of joy. Because if you're not, you'll just be miserable all the rest of your life. And we don't want to be miserable all the rest of our life. I'm sorry. Some of y'all do, but I know I don't. You know, and so I'm going to find that inner peace. Guys, give a quick wish to everybody on your point for Christmas. I want to remind you guys, we'll be right back here with a show next week, and we're going to talk about what the new year was brought to us, what our hopes and things are going to be for our 24. Well, mine is like getting more in 24. All right, but Parnell, you want to say something real quick for us before we go?
I want to say, you know, this has been a fun year. Mm-hmm. You've had some great topics that we talked about, some good laughs and stuff, you know, and some very informative conversations. And you know, as we go into the new year, you guys know that I will not be here as a regular host, but I'll be popping in,
right?
You know, from time to time to just give out my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you guys for welcoming me to be a part of the Truth Behind the Truth platform. I've never hosted a talk show before, so this is awesome. But there's some areas in my career that I want to devote more time to. So I just want to let folks know, y'all might not see me on a regular basis, but I'll still be around.
Yes. Great. Darnell?
Well, you know, all I want is just wish peace and blessings and love for the holidays to everyone. You know, just to tell, if you see somebody, wrap your arms around them, let them know you love them, and just enjoy, and keep away the negativity as much as we can. You know, this has truly been a absolutely amazing year. This has been a absolutely wonderful experience, being able to be amongst the guys and be able to speak your mind and say how you feel and talk about all different types of things. And yes, you're right, Sandy, that Donald Trump is the reason why Santa, the whole aspect with Santa, he is the reason. And that's our truth, and we're going to stick to it.
All right.
But yes, it's been truly great.
All right.
I think Parnell and Darnell said it's good enough for me. So I'm going to go with their thoughts and say thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, I would just want to say to everyone who's watching, look to the rainbow.
Okay. All right.
Look to the rainbow.
Beautiful. Well, you know, I like to say, just to wrap this up, you know, I am very thankful what you guys will hear more about that next week. But you know, for my cast, for my crew, for those that have been a part of the Truth Behind the Truth, and those that are coming in the new year, that'll be a part of our great, ever expanding network here of what we do in terms to reaching everyone with the truth behind the truth and allowing you the freedom to be who you need to be. Okay, in this platform, because everybody doesn't have the absolute, but at the end of the day, the truth behind the truth is your truth. All right. Embrace that, move into it, have a great, enjoyable Christmas on Monday. And as you get prepared for the new year, we look forward to seeing you guys back here again next week. All right. Thank you. Love you much. Love on your family, love on your friends. And we will see you back here next week on The Truth